I think clients are their own worst enemies. A lot of times, if they're not staying relevant, it's because they're not doing what you're asking them to do. So sometimes I'll write intros, and sometimes I'll sit back and I'll be like a proud mom when I see, like talent reading, and it's, the intro I wrote.
I wrote that. Nowadays, do you know anyone that really shouldn't be a publicist? Hi everybody, I'm Adri. Welcome to Unscripted with Adri. Today's episode is gonna be so fun. I have one of my besties here today, and she's also a powerhouse mogul publicist, my publicist. I'm so excited to introduce to you Aileen Abella.
So excited! So excited!
It's such an honor to have you on my podcast. The only reason why she's doing it is because it's in English.
Yay!
So Eileen, really, she represents so many people. She does such an impeccable job as a publicist. But I want to know, who was Aileen Abella before you are the PR mogul?
Oh my gosh, that's such a deep question. We're, straight out of the gate there. So I studied journalism, so I was a journalist. For a long time, I said I was going to do hard news. I wasn't going to do entertainment.
Really?
I wasn't going to work with celebrities. That was like, when you go into journalism and you want to do that, and that's your passion, writing, you don't want to do PR. And in school, you study mass communications, and, I was like, I'm not going to do PR. Oh my God, that's such a, it was like, those were the party girls. And
Really?
Yeah, and those are the people, when I go to like cocktail parties and have fun, I was like a serious journalist, that was never going to be me. And of course, like we know, God has a sense of humor. And and then 13 years later, I started my own agency, and there were, at first, it was just doing corporate PR, right?
Yeah.
So, for a long time, I worked with, companies that wanted to work with Hispanic, penetrate
Media?
the Hispanic market.
Okay. Like what companies?
Yeah, I worked with Neoris, which was an arm of Cemex. I worked with Miami Boat Show, like super corporate, and then little by
Very
little.
serious.
Yes, yes. And then a good friend of mine that worked with me back when I worked in the Newswire, went out on, she was working for Televisa at the time, and she brought me on to work for Televisa Publishing. So I did events for them on the PR side, and that's kind of where we met.
Yes,
that's
we
why
met.
I brought that up.
That's right. And that was way back in 2012, I think, or 2011. What was the name of that event?
Emerge.
Emerge Hispanic.
And you might not know this, when you send me emails, I'm still saved on your phone as Emerge. Aileen Emerge. So I get emails, and I still see Aileen Emerge. And
I have to change that.
But I think it's so cute. I've never told you because I think it's adorable. Because it's
I'm
like,
embarrassed.
No, I think it's so cute because that's how you save me, and that's like our beginnings.
That's how I knew who you were, because I knew so many Eileens.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, I have to put something to remember. What Eileen is it?
Yes.
Oh my God, so funny. So yeah, we met in Emerge Hispanic.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting you, and I was like, wow, she's different from the other publicists that I've worked with in the entertainment industry, because she's very hardcore. She's serious, quiet, and she's very meticulous.
She's a little bit annoying.
No,
right?
no.
You're like, oh yeah, she's intense.
I liked it. You know why I liked it? Because I come from the corporate world.
Yeah,
Like, people
that's true.
don't know. I worked for a magazine when I was a teenager and in high school, and it was 8 magazines. So I'm really serious about getting back to emails. I'm really serious about vocabulary, misspelling, and just being, common courtesy and being professional in the business world, which, in entertainment, it's non-existent. Well, it's okay, we don't want to talk bad about it. But in general, it's more like, oh, fun, party. And I came from the corporate world, so I think that's why we clicked.
Yeah, I think that's why we click, because I come from that side where, I'll send a call sheet, I'll send an email, I'll send talking points. I like over prepare, and I think it's the type A personality in me that does that. Like I'll over prepare. I'll make sure you have talking points. You have a Google map of where you have to go. You have directions. You have where to park. You have photos. You have a mood board of what to wear. That's like.
It's true, because when you helped me walk the carpet at the Latin billboards, I don't remember how many years ago, and you were very efficient. And I was like, wait, she thinks I've never done this before.
It's like your first thing at the rodeo.
My first rodeo, right? And then I remember that you sent me the map and everything, where you have to go through, where you have to walk. This is what it looks like. And you even showed up very early.
Oh, I went the day before. I remember.
Yes.
I went the day before because I didn't trust the map. the map was a little bit wonky, and I was like, I'm gonna go. And then I did my own map, and then I'm like, okay. And then I'm like standing out there, and I'm like, you're gonna come in through here, you're gonna park through here, because the map was, and then it worked, right? Because otherwise, everybody was, and then it's so funny because, you know, people who make clients sometimes, you know, laugh at me. They're like, it's okay, don't worry. But then they get there and they realize they can't get through. There's a barricade, there's police, there's redirecting, there's no parking. You gotta walk.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
Sometimes when
you don't
get to
see
a red
that
carpet.
when you get to a red carpet. You can't just pull up because, you know, you and 500 other people are pulling up at the same time.
Yeah, they're very strict.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes the parking attendants, they don't know who the Latin celebrities are.
Oh, and they don't know. And everybody's saying they invited me, and I know, and everybody knows. You know, everybody's saying, you know, so-and-so invited me, I'm on the list, or I have a parking pass, or you have it on your phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, you know, we over-prepare, but then we get there and we're like, relax.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I love your type A personality. You're a little more type A than I am.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more, a little bit
You're
more.
like, you must be like, I've done this before, it's okay.
No, that was fine. I was very like grateful that you did all that because it really did help us when we arrived because it was mayhem. But going back to who you were before. So what made you stay, like once you did the Emerge Hispanic events with Televisa, like what made you kind of like stay in the Hispanic media?
Yeah, it was very interesting because working with, you know, Televisa Publishing, I had never really watched Spanish language TV. I didn't know who any of these people were at all.
You didn't.
Nobody.
You didn't.
No, and then I remember like back then, like somebody was, I don't know who, I think it was somebody working with at the time. There was like, oh yeah, there's another Eileen. I thought you were Eileen. And I Googled and it was Eileen Mujica. And I was like, yeah, definitely I'm not her. I love her. She's stunning. I love her now. But, you know, even with Televisa, you know, I know that we were doing an event with a lot of, every time we do an event, it would be like, oh, call so-and-so. And I'd have to Google.
Well, who is that?
Who is this? I don't know, and where they are. And I'd throw people's names out like, oh yeah, like Ilia Calderon. Yeah, sure, I'll call her. Who is she? You know?
But now you know who everybody is,
No, of course,
right?
now everybody, now it's funny because now I don't know exactly who everybody is. But back then I didn't. And it was so funny. And I was like, this is a whole new world, right?
A challenge.
Yeah. And then working with, you know, people in that space and events. I really enjoy doing events. And it just, you meet a lot of people in entertainment and you realize that people need help, right? Mm-hmm. With their careers, nothing bad or good. They just, you know, a lot of times people are like, I need your help, or I like the way you do events, or, you know, Instagram started being a thing. It wasn't a thing right then, you know, and I started doing more social media, which I do for, you know, a lot of clients. But it became started and people were like, I need your help to do events. I need your help. I love what you do. I love the way you're so organized. You know, I like that about you. So I started, you know, more and more, instead of companies, people started reaching out to me and being like, okay, I know that you work for Televisa, but you know, publishing, but I want you to work for me too. And you know, that kind of 100% reactive, you know, just meeting people. And
now you have a roster of really high profile people. How many people are you working with now at the moment?
I have a lot of experts. So I've been able to position, I always say that I position the experts, you know, there are the news. The way I work is, I call it news jacking. So I hijack the news. I have my experts become the news. So we set the trends. So we write the stories for them. We write whatever's trending for them.
When you say we, it's Aileen Abella, right?
And
your
Boutique.
team. And Boutique. We'll get to Boutique we have a whole 45 minutes. Don't worry. We'll get to Boutique shortly. Okay, so continue.
Yeah, so we do that. So right now I work probably with over 15 experts.
How challenging is it to work with so many people, Eileen? You probably don't sleep.
I don't a lot, but but you get
how do you do it?
You get into a system. I actually don't sleep a lot, and I'm like my screen time on TikTok and Instagram is insane. You know, when people say I have a no phone day, I'm having anxiety now without my phone for like an hour. I'm always on my phone.
So you're addicted.
I'm addicted to my phone.
Don't you feel relief like when you're not on your phone? Like, don't you feel rested? You know, like when
No. I know. I don't, because I feel like I need to be connected. I feel like I need to be there for people.
FOMO.
Yeah, you get FOMO and you feel like, you missed notifications and then you got to catch up or yeah, it's bad, but yeah.
You told me something one day. I don't remember exactly what the phrase is, but if you don't post it, it didn't happen or something like that. What is it?
¿Para qué vinimos? I'm like, if we didn't post it, it didn't happen. Why we come here?
You never just enjoy an event and not post?
No, you have to post. Otherwise, why'd you get dressed? Why'd you ruin an outfit? I remember.
Why did you get your hair and makeup done?
I know. Why'd you show up? You should have just stayed home in pajamas. And I will never forget. She's going to kill me. It was somebody from the Real Housewives of Miami that we were doing a carpet. And she does the carpet. This was forever. And she does the carpet. And then she comes around, okay, bye. I'm like, you're not staying? They're like, no, I did what I had to do.
She's smart.
I'm like, she's my hero. Yeah, I love this.
Definitely. So, I've done that before.
We do that, right? Yeah. We do those Irish exits.
Definitely. I remember doing it at Premio Lo Nuestro a couple of times because honestly, I don't want to see those people sing. They're not really even singing.
Yeah.
Unless you get a Mark Anthony. And then you have to wait, or Luis Miguel, then you have to wait until the very end of the show. And then to get a limo back to the hotel where you valet parked is a mission. I remember just doing the carpet, going in, saying hello to some people, and I'm bailing.
Well, but I think that's something that we've realized, right, in the industry, that like by the time you go in, if you go in, like the artist section a lot of times is empty.
It is.
Because everybody's either backstage or accepting an award, or you really want to be backstage, or you're
or they're at the bar.
That's the other one.
Not me, because I don't drink, but they're at the bar.
You're doing your rounds. You want to go network, right? You want to take pictures, and now I think it's on another level because like we say, like why'd you show up? Why'd you waste an outfit? Why'd you spend money on hair and makeup? That's like a lot. It's a lot to show up to an event.
People don't realize for celebrities. Yeah. Like all the work that it takes, like even to show up here, I had to go to the boutique, get the outfits for 8 shows, hair and makeup. Like it's a lot, there's a lot of preparation that goes into the red carpets, and sometimes you have to have fittings with 3 or 4 different designers, because God forbid you wear the wrong thing. And God forbid you're not wearing shapewear. You said you get a little piece of fat on the pictures that, you can't retouch the pictures.
No, you can't.
On what is it, Wire Image, and the other one.
Yeah, with Getty Images.
Getty Images.
They won't retouch your pictures, of course.
No. So you really have to, and then you have to get your facials, and then you have to make sure that,
It's a whole procedure.
It's a whole procedure.
It's like a 2-3
manicure,
weeks.
pedicure, because God forbid a nail is chipped, And so people don't realize that. So tell the audience a little bit more about that and what they don't know about being a publicist, how hard it is.
Well, first you got to get invited, right? I think it all starts when you get invited. Like you have to anticipate. You can't just wait to like, oh, this week is Premios Lo Nuestro. Like, can we go? Or you're like, you're late.
And a lot of people do that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of publicists will turn off their phones. For that, we do turn off our phones because the week of, like, everybody finds out, oh, there's a red carpet. Oh, get me on. And it's like, I already asked for passes, 3 months ago.
3 months ago. So you have to start working on the red carpets 3 months before they happen?
Yeah, like a good, and like I would say like 3 months you start anticipating, who's going, is your client. Are they a nominee? Are they a finalist? Do you have a presenter? Obviously those take precedence over everybody else. And then they have the non-participating talent. If you're part of...
People that just have a name and they go and...
Of course, the media carpet wants to interview them because they have a project that's relevant to the red carpet and to that
or
network. Or a scandal we're talking about, whatever. And then, you start asking, make sure they get approved. And then as talent, okay, who are we wearing? What are we wearing? Do we need to lose weight? Do we need to start getting our Botox?
Do I get lipo?
Yeah, like do I have enough time for this? What's the shapewear? What's the hair? What do we want to do?
Do I hire a trainer for the next 3 months?
Yeah. Do I stop eating? Do I go on Ozempic? Yeah. I mean, all those things now. Those are the conversation. I'm not saying that's her conversation. I'm saying those are the conversation.
Ozempic. I'm scared of Ozempic, but I know everyone's on it, and apparently it works.
Yes,
it does. Apparently it works, but I'm just chicken. I'm chicken for everything.
Yes, you are.
I always think something's gonna happen to me. I had a panic attack the other night because I took 400 milligrams of magnesium, and I didn't think about it. I bought a new magnesium, and I thought it was the same bottle. No, but it was 400, and I usually take 2 pills of 120 or 150, and then I took 1 pill of 400 milligrams, and I freaked out. I thought something was gonna happen to me. I started having like heart palpitations. I'm very panicky.
Yeah, but you don't take anything. That's why your body because
I don't take anything.
Very natural.
Yeah, I'm very clean.
No caffeine. You're like very.
I have a little bit of caffeine is okay, but I don't drink alcohol, and then I'm really sensitive to any medication. So I always think something's gonna happen to me. And since I have a thyroid issue already, that's why I haven't done the Ozempic, because I'm scared. Because it does affect the thyroid. But I see my friends are so skinny and I'm like, I'm jealous.
Everything, I mean, every medication, right, has, side effects.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't need it. You're fine.
I'm wearing Yahira's shapewear.
Ooh, shout out Jahira.
Yeah, shopjahira.com, baby.
There you go.
She was here yesterday.
I love it.
You have to watch the episode.
I have to try her shapewear.
You haven't tried it?
No.
I've been talking to you.
You always rave about her.
I can't believe it.
She has to drop one. I have to send her my size.
When is your birthday?
It just passed.
Oh, okay.
But Mother's Day is coming up. So, hey, that's a great, I can shop for myself. Because that's another thing.
Or I can buy it for you.
No, that's another thing. We need to support, small businesses. So I need to go on and buy it. I think we both align on that. We need to support, our friends. That's the way you support your friends.
Exactly.
You buy it and then you tag them.
Exactly.
Which that's another thing. A lot of times, I will tag businesses just random that I enjoy or I buy, and people are like, "Oh, get it for me," and I'm like, "No, I bought it." I think.
And do they send you stuff for free?
Sometimes they do, but sometimes I just do it just to support. Like we've gone so much to Sufra, and I went this week, and I didn't even see we tag. We did. I'm like, they see us there with the light, and there must be like, I'm like, I just want to support because he's been such a nice person every time we go.
Legit influencer. You are an influencer. Not only are you a publicist, mogul, honey. No. So I want to talk about something that you're gonna kill me.
Aye.
But I know that sometimes clients are a little bit scandalous and they get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
So
not you.
Not me. I know. Sorry. I'm just not scandalous.
We might as well.
That was a long time ago. What scandals have you fixed?
Well, you'll never find out about them.
Well, I know about one, and it was out there. Okay, well, don't tell us who, but tell us what was involved in the scandal.
You know that, like, the ones that you would think are the most scandalous don't faze me, because as a publicist, you always have to have a crisis PR plan, right? Mm-hmm. You have to know what your client is into, what's a potential for if they push the envelope right now with cancel culture, right? Mm-hmm. It's very easy to go online. Somebody gets a picture of you being not so nice, or you having a bad moment, or you in a parking lot demanding your car. Why isn't your car there? Somebody takes a video and it becomes a whole scandal. That's very common. So as a publicist, you already anticipate those situations, especially if you have a difficult client or somebody that kind of tends to be a little bit more vocal, and you kind of know how to manage those things. So those things don't faze me, and you have to have a plan in place. Obviously everybody has, or not everybody, but the nudes, or those don't faze me, because
nudes don't faze you.
No, they don't faze me, because what people do in private, that's up to them.
And it's not scandalous anymore.
No,
like if a client's pictures would come out, one of your clients like nude, it's like everyone. We were talking about it the other day. Everyone talks about everything that they've been through in their life, and nothing is like scandalous anymore.
Yeah, that's not. And then like drugs won't, because everybody has a past. Nobody's perfect. Anybody can make a bad decision one day. What really kind of puts me at a crossroads is when somebody's not a nice person. And that's where, things that happen in social media now, and I'm not going to name them, but, it's all over TikTok, for example. As a publicist and as a social media manager, you create the online persona for somebody. Right. And sometimes that person in their private life might not be nice, and you created that persona and you made people like them. Yeah. And maybe you don't even like them. Yeah. So that, I think, is what's the hardest. But
has that ever happened to you with any of your clients?
Yeah, I think at some point, in the past, I'm glad I'm in a point where I really enjoy the people that I work with, and I take on, people.
It shows on your social media, because let me tell you, you run your social media like a Gen Z.
Like a Gen Z. Because
I'm in shock. I'm like, oh my gosh, like your social media is so like up to date. Like does someone help you do your social media?
Back in the day when it was Twitter, and this was when I was, consulting for Televisa Publishing, one of the things for their women's event before Instagram, they're like, we would have to invite people, and one of the things I used was the power of social media. And I had a whole presentation on the power of social media, because I used Twitter. And, at that time, I made amazing contacts with, Time Magazine, amazing people that you can get to just being authentic, right? And having authentic two-way conversations with people. And I realized early on the power of social media, and I really love social media. And my presentations are always social first, just like they say mobile first, social first, right? And then now, since I have so many clients and that I do have a video editor, I do have a content producer. So shout out to Ali, who's back there. Yeah. So, you know, I had to bite the bullet and be like, I like doing everything myself, my type A, like, and then it's like, I can't go to event, be with you all day, and then want to edit my own videos.
But you did before,
yeah,
right? Before.
At one point I did. I wanted to do it. And nobody does it as good as me, and I want to do it. I know, don't do it like that. And then I had to let go of a few things.
Okay, so you chilled out. You've chilled out.
A few things, yeah.
A few things, but at least you're not like editing your own social media.
Yeah, I know.
But I still post. Okay. Because I can tell it's you actually posting it, but you really are on top of the trends.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Really. Yay.
I love it. I love social media. I just enjoy it.
It shows. Have you ever had to work with someone that you don't like, that you dislike?
I think if I've ever had to work with somebody I didn't like, it would be on the corporate side.
Okay.
That you're like, you know, it's a corporate client or something, and, you know, somebody. But I think you get to a point where if you're not, you know, this is a very consultative job and business. When you work so closely, especially when you work with talent, that, you know, I think it's easier for them to be like, hey, this is not working, and they don't want to continue working with you. Because if you're not, you know, there's a lot of egos to stroke. And if they're not jiving with you and they're not really like connecting with you, it's really hard for you to promote their image and their
you
job.
Know what? And you're different, because I have worked with many publicists that have a huge ego and they want to be the famous ones.
No, we have to be behind the camera.
Yeah, but I have worked with publicists in Spanish media, with a few of them, because by now I've worked with all of them.
Everybody.
You know, I've been in the business my whole life. I've worked basically with all of them, and some of them show up to red carpets and it seems like they want to be like the star, and I'm like, gosh, it's so weird. And we talk about it too. We're not going to say who they are.
No.
You know, both women and men, like, they want to be the stars, and that's, I don't like that. Like,
I never wanted to be in front of the camera. I mean, I think, you know, I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be serious and blah, blah. And I really enjoy the communication side of it, but I was definitely meant to be on the other side of the camera. I want to be behind it. I want to support. My job is to make my clients shine. I have that so clear in my career. Like, you know, I wake up and how am I going to make this person shine? How am I going to support them reach their goals? How am I going to make sure that, you know, they're relevant and you know, if they want to.
That's really challenging, you know, and for the people that don't know that are watching, what is a PR, a publicist?
A publicist is somebody that helps you communicate to your core audience. So it could be a public, it could be a demographic that you want to reach. It's media, right? Because the media, you know, in the past, it was always mass media that would, you know, disseminate your message. Now it's, you know, social media, the power of social media. A lot of times a publicist will help you with your social media because that's the most direct path to get to your audience.
Exactly.
So it's somebody that's on top of your communication, helping you reach your audience, whatever that audience might be, for a corporate client or a talent or
for whatever career it is.
Yeah, for whatever, because it could be, you know, it could be a restaurant, it could be an actor.
And how challenging is it, like, to get your client in the news, in the actual news, and then also stay relevant and stay in the news? You know, how hard is that, and how do you do it?
You know that if I think clients are their own worst enemies. A lot of times, if they're not staying relevant, it's because they're not doing what you're asking them to do. Because a lot of times,
for example,
I tell clients, I match your energy. So if I call you on a Monday and I tell you I need high-res photos because I have a great opportunity, I don't have photos, I don't want to pay a photographer, I can't do a shoot, I'm out of town, how am I going to get you a placement? How am I going to, you know, or I send you interview questions and I'm like, hey, could you answer this? Send me a voice note.
You even give them that option to answer the questions?
I'll transcribe. Yeah, I'll transcribe. We did, last Friday, we did an interview with Dr. Naeem for People Magazine. They're like, I need an hour. And I called him. I'm like, I need you, just answer this in voice notes. So he sends me, you know, we got down to a system where he'll send me a voice note. I'll transcribe it, fix it up, and I send it. And, you know, it's done within an hour. But if I can't, I'm too busy. I need a week to think about it.
Yeah.
You know, missed opportunities. So I think the hardest part is the client get in their own way sometimes with that.
Yeah, and maybe it's because they don't have that much experience, with media in general, and they don't understand how it works.
Yeah, and I tell them on the onboarding process, I always tell clients, hey, we're going to create a WhatsApp group. We're going to stay in close contact. And, a lot of times the opportunities are not going to be the ones you go after. It's going to be the ones that come to you because you're in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
And you just have to...
And opportunity doesn't always knock twice, at your door. So you have to go for it, and you have to listen to Eileene. Who are your favorite artists that you've worked with up to now that maybe you don't work with anymore, but that you've had the best, experience with? Because you've worked with so many.
I know. I think clients are like children. They're like your kids. That you love them all in their own special way. Mm-hmm. Some kids that you want to sometimes put them in timeout because they're not behaving. But I've kind of like, all my clients have a special place in my heart because I'm kind of like in different phases of your life. You're like, okay, I needed this person to learn something or to grow or to, do something. I mean, obviously I learned a lot working for Televisa. That was a school of hard knocks because it was a bridge into a market that I wasn't familiar with and nobody taught me.
Right.
And it kind of bridged that divide between, corporate and talent, which is huge.
And what are the biggest names that you've worked with, like as far as artists are concerned, celebrities?
I worked for a while with Quique Santander. Okay. He's amazing. I worked with Barbara Palacios, who was a Miss Universe. I worked at the Miami Boat Show, worked with CMN Events, with Latin Up. Obviously now with a lot of clients that are experts, Dr. Naeem, who's great. He's been with me since the pandemic. And clients that, Andrea Minsky and Adriana Martin have been with me since day one. Adriana has been with me over 10 years.
Wow. So, it's been 10 years? Yes. Well, I met you in 2012.
Yeah. Look at how many years it's been.
14 years. I can't believe it. Time flies.
Yeah. So, you go through a lot. Gabby was a little,
Yeah, a munchkin.
A little munchkin.
Yeah.
You go through different stages. You were doing your calendars.
Yeah.
At that time.
And the seminars for the young kids.
Yes, I remember that.
¿Cómo entrar al mundo del
entrar
espectáculo?
Y triunfar.
¿Cómo entrar al mundo del espectáculo y triunfar?
And who was one of your protégés in that whole...
Carlos Adian.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, a lot of them. Carlos Adian and a lot of girls went off to do also beauty pageants and win beauty pageants. So yeah.
You have formed a lot of talent. Yeah. And you saw that in him.
Yeah, I
think
saw
early
that in him.
On,
I saw that in him. And I have that because I worked as a talent agent.
Yeah.
When I started in the business, I did all types of jobs. I worked as a talent agent, and I could always recognize who was going to make it. And when I did the series on Nickelodeon Latin America, Grachi, I grabbed 4 of them, and I said, you guys, in 5 years, you're going to blow up. You have no idea how famous you're going to be. And guess what it was? Isabela Castillo, William Valdez, Mauricio Henao, and there was one more, Sol Rodriguez, who's now in Hollywood, has done series with Rosalind Sanchez and movies. I think she was in the Superman movie or a superhero movie. So I kind of have that gift, but I miss doing the seminars.
I think we need to reboot that. I think we need to reboot them.
But now I have the magazine, I have the skincare. I'm doing the podcast, which the hard work. People don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into actually producing a podcast.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do it for such a long time. Because you're saying, when are you going to do the podcast? It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and you put yourself out there, right? And the good thing is you have an amazing team, and putting together the right team is not easy either.
No, it's not.
Because you have to trust people with your time, your schedule, and time is valuable. We don't, and somebody taking their time, and that's why I appreciate them. Is somebody taking their time to sit in your chair and really showing up for you and giving you that trust.
No, you're the exclusives I have. Yeah, they're tear jerkers. Wait till you see. No, wait till you see some interviews. You're gonna be like, like exclusives, like things from their life. People, I guess, open up to me. Yeah, and I think I don't know why, but they just do.
Because you're not drama. You don't like drama. You like to. I think you've been enough in the industry, like from the outside looking in. You've been through, and you've maintained, right? You've maintained through all facets.
Don't ask me
right?
how.
Well, because
I don't know how.
Your professionalism, right? And people see how professional you are.
Thank you.
And then you've been, young mom, scandal, no scandal, the magazine, whatever.
Menopause.
Everything in between, skincare line, and you've made, but you don't like to go on and use your platform. I know you could have used your platform for a lot of bashing and trashing.
Yeah. No, I don't like that. I don't
You
enjoy
don't like that.
I don't enjoy that at all. And is PR glamorous? Because it has to have a glamorous side, I'm sure.
I mean, I think I don't take for granted, and there's something I noticed, like, you don't take for granted that you get a lot of invitations. Like, now we don't want to go to events because now we're like,
we're over it.
We don't want to go. But you think back when I was on the corporate side, just, oh my God, you get to go to like eat at restaurants, and you got to go to these openings.
And red carpets.
And you get to like dress up and look pretty and go and, you know, have all these wonderful experiences. And I don't take that part for granted. Every time when I get like, oh my God, another event, I don't want to go. Or what am I going to wear? Oh, you know, and then you're like, me 15 years ago would have not seen myself in this position. I would have never imagined this in my wildest dreams for myself. And that's always God's plan. And when you follow what God has for your life, you're like, okay, things, but you can't take it for granted, right? You can't realize that you were privileged. We have all these opportunities, and every day, you know, thank God that this is what I get to do. Not like, oh my God, I have to do this. No, I get to do this.
You love your job.
I do love
What
my
is
job.
the most stressful part?
Clients being on time.
Clients being on time to the set or to a photo shoot or everything. How do you deal with it?
Anxiety, because I will always show up early. So for me, being late gives me the type A, right? There's always traffic in Miami. You know that.
It's unpredictable too.
Yeah. But you got to anticipate it, right? Like if you know you're going to be live, you know, and you have to be somewhere at 9 a.m., you know there's going to be traffic.
Have you ever had a talent not show up on time for a live taping or a live show? You have?
Yes.
And they don't do the segment?
No.
And then how do you look in front of that TV network?
Horrible. And then they don't get invited back.
They don't get invited back.
No. That's what happens. And that as much as, no matter how good you are, you could be the best actress, you could be the best talent. You can have these wonderful opportunities. That's why I say talent sometimes is their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
If you don't show up or you're not prepared or, you know, or
your attitude.
Your attitude, you know, producers have, you know, the ability to invite you back or not. You could be wonderful, but she's difficult to work with. I'm not going to invite her back.
Exactly.
Because there'll be somebody else that'll do it a little bit worse than you. It doesn't matter.
No, there's a million people in line just waiting for you not to get invited. So, you know, everyone wants to be on TV. Everyone wants to be on podcasts. Everyone wants to be on a cover of a magazine.
Of course.
So I really think that attitude goes a really long way, and showing up, like you say, is so important. And who do you enjoy working with more, the experts or actual talent, like on-camera talent?
I think both, and it's great, and I don't think you ever get bored because I have a little bit of both. You don't get bored because you know, everybody has their own je ne sais quoi, right? You're like, it's a little bit different, but I treat my experts like they're talent. For me, they're my talent.
Well, they're talent.
They're my babies.
I have to listen. I take my hat off to Eileen because all of your experts are on television.
Yes.
Every day. And they're not necessarily people that know how to read a teleprompter or that know how to stand in front of a camera and how to project. And they go through your training. I don't know. Do you have someone that trains them?
No. We train them, and it's their willingness to learn too. Because if you're not open, if you're like, oh no, I know everything I know, and I'm not going to learn, or I don't want to take direction, then, you know, they're going to stay where they are. But if they're willing, hey, let's learn to use a prompter. Let's, you know, learn to, you know, speak a little bit, you know, you speak in sound bites for 2 minutes instead of rambling for 10. And I ramble too, so I'm the first one that needs to sometimes.
Really? You don't ramble.
I ramble sometimes.
You're the best.
I overshare.
And you know what? We got to tell them about Booty.
Booty.
Who's Booty?
Booty.
Can I say that story?
Yeah, say the story.
Okay. So one day, because they don't know, you're kind of like my publicist, but it's not like official, right? Like we're like besties. She helps me with PR. Sometimes she helps the magazine too. So we were talking about an article that was going to come out or a press release or something.
It was an article that you needed. You're like, I need so many characters.
Oh, it was an article for the magazine.
Yeah.
For one of your experts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to come out in my magazine, Somos la Revista. And then I was telling her, this is exactly what I need. Thank you.
Plug. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Thank you. I need it to be 400 words or 500 words, whatever. And then she wrote back in the WhatsApp, Booty will write it. Buti. And I'm like, oh.
My autocorrect.
And I'm like, oh, Booty must be someone new, a new assistant, a new writer. Because I know you work with a lot of writers.
I do have
because you write yourself, but you have other people that write also.
I have writers that work with me.
So then I go, I wrote, and who's Booty?
Yeah, I know. And like 2 days later, you're like, but tell Booty to do it.
Tell Booty that I need it. And you wrote, who is Booty?
I'm like, who's she talking about, Booty?
And then I screenshotted. You told me Booty was going to write it. And then
it's so funny.
You go, I'm Booty.
But I will write it, and it's autocorrected to Booty in caps.
In all caps, Booty will write it. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, she has a new assistant.
Booty, okay, Booty. So now when you want something, you tell Booty to write it.
So that's like an inside joke that now all of you are going to be part of. It's always like, ¿y Booty? Dile a Booty que lo escriba.
Dile a Booty que se ponga las pilas.
Que se ponga las pilas. Oh my God, that's so funny.
We will forever love Booty, because then she kept saying, oh, but tell Booty. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, Adriana, I don't have time to write another.
Yeah. And then who's Booty?
And you're like, well, but tell Booty. And I'm like, what do you mean, Booty? Esta está loca. What are you telling me, Booty? Who is that? Who do I have to call and hire? I don't know. As an entrepreneur in business, something I can't keep doing is trying to do everything by myself. That's obviously something that I can't do. And I've taken the reins of that. I've taken the reins, and I'm like, I have a video editor for some clients. I have Ali who helps me. I have a writer who's amazing. So I've delegated, a few things, which that's taken a lot, but
Yeah, for your type A personality.
But you need to grow. In order to grow, and it's only for the benefit of my clients, right? At the end of the day, and at the beginning, I never wanted to get so big, because when you get so big, you get to a point where you have to, for the benefit of your clients and to, justify that team, you have to get bigger in an office. And I always wanted my clients to have access to me. And I always said, and that was my big selling point when I used to do consulting for corporations, for companies. And I used to be like their Hispanic, freelancer or whatever. That with me, they were getting a seasoned professional, which sometimes you get a big agency and you get somebody who's starting out, handling your account or whatever. My clients get me and my experience with other clients. I bring to the table, hey, I did this 5 years ago, it didn't work. So I call myself Debbie Downer all the time. Like I'm the first one that shoots down every idea. I'll be like, oh, no, that's not going to work. Oh, but no, that's not going to work.
But that's priceless.
Yeah.
Because you're saving them a lot of heartache, money, and time.
Yeah.
And, time is priceless.
Yeah. So I'm the worst. So I'll be like, a lot of times I'll call clients. I'll be like, you got invited to this, but we're not going. Okay. Okay. Just so you know.
Just like that.
Yeah. Just so you know, we're not doing this. It's not going to happen.
And they actually listen to you. They're very receptive, your clients.
Well, I try to explain, hey, we're not going to go here because X, Y, and Z. And this is not good for your career for X, Y, Z. And then, a lot of times they'll listen. Sometimes I don't want to do it. I'm like, if you want to do it, I'll go. I'll show up. We'll make it work.
But don't complain later.
Don't go. But I want the record to reflect that I told you we should not go to this.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate your honesty. And I really love what you're doing with your clients, because you're not just the regular publicist that sends out a press release or gets your talent to be on the cover of a magazine or gets your talent to be a guest on a TV show. Like, you actually kind of like help produce.
Yes.
You actually,
if I send something out, it'll go with B-roll, talking points, banners. I like to,
when you pitch to the producers on the TV shows, that's how you do it. Can you say that again?
Yeah, I'll pitch everything. It'll have the press release, the talking points, banners, B-roll, photos, materials. If I pitch a human interest story, it'll have, if I'm pitching the story of a young mom, Adriana Catano, skincare line, and where she started, they'll have a folder with, early acting career clips, magazine covers. I'll present the story, right now, they need that help, because otherwise they're going to come back to you in the middle of the, editing. I need this cover. Or she mentions, Gabby when she was 1. I need a picture of Gabby when she was 1.
So you make it so easy for producers.
Yeah, to see the big story. They see it and they're like, oh, a picture tells 1,000 words, but if they get it, they'll see at least B-roll, right? At least B-roll, some pictures, some talking points, banners. This is how you should present the person in the intro. Sometimes I'll write intros, and sometimes I'll sit back and I'll be like a proud mom when I see, talent reading, and it's, the intro I wrote.
I wrote that.
It was great. I mean, that's our job, right?
And you're helping the producers. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, especially like the daily shows, it's really hard to produce a live daily television show. And you take your talent on there and your experts on there. I see them every single day on your social media.
Yeah.
So I take my hat off to you, and you're helping the producers actually, with the content.
Value. Yeah. And since I'm on Instagram and TikTok so long, I'm like, hey, this is trending. And sometimes they're like, wait, I haven't seen that. I'm like, it's going to blow up. I just saw this micro trend. It's going to blow up. Get it before someone else does.
With so many PRs out there today, right, nowadays, do you know anyone that really shouldn't be a publicist?
I don't think anybody should be a publicist if you want to be talent.
If you want to be famous.
If you want to, or if that was your dream and you're doing it or you either jealous of your client or they're getting the opportunities you want for you. It's okay if you wanted to once upon a time, if you wanted to be an actor and you kind of passed the page and now you realize you have a niche behind the camera and you really want to help other people, you want to develop talent. I think that's noble and you have great experience to pass on, right? But if you still have that in you, you're like, I'm getting this for my client, but and I'm sure it's happened to you. I don't know, that somebody will pitch a talent and they're like, oh, but I would like that opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard because I think as talent, you're like, well, is my publicist really have my best interest, or are they looking to benefit off me somehow?
Yeah.
And I think as a publicist, your job is to shine a light on your client.
Exactly.
Not on you.
Yeah. Sometimes managers are like that too. Like they want to be the famous ones. I've had some managers, I'm like, wait a minute, do you want to be in the picture or is it me? I'm so confused.
Push you out of the way. Get out.
Nah, I'm not like that. I'm not catty. Catty. But they can be catty, like some managers. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird. So there's so many people in Miami that like just start getting social media and then, meeting influencers, or they themselves are influencers, and then all of a sudden they become publicists.
Well, I think, and this is going to date me, back in the day, they would say anybody with a BlackBerry and 3 contacts calls themselves a publicist. A BlackBerry, back in the day, we used to write on the BlackBerries, right? And that doesn't make you a publicist, right? If you want to trust your career, and it's okay, there's for everybody, right? We're not gonna, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? If somebody wants to hire somebody with 3 contacts to do something for them, there's enough for everybody to go around, but that's not really a communications professional that's gonna help you reach your goals, and I think that's the distinction. It's okay that you can have a personal assistant, a friend who's gonna lend you a hand, a marketing person. There's so many roles, right, that you can have, that's not necessarily a publicist.
So what are the red flags for people out there that might be wanting to get into show business or that are already experts? What are the red flags to watch out for if someone approaches them and says, hey, I can do your PR because I know this person and that person, because everyone in Miami knows everyone and they're best friends with everyone at Univision, Telemundo, NBC, and then really they don't do anything. So what are the red flags that they can watch out for?
For me, the red flag is promising. As a publicist, or love bombing. That whole, oh my God, you're the next big thing. You're amazing. It's like all this blowing smoke in show business. This is a city of beautiful people, right? There's gorgeous people here. And, people can get you opportunities, but you have to be mindful, right? You're not 1 in a million. It's very hard to find that 1 in a million.
You have to be realistic.
Exactly. I know, or I'm going to make you a star. Your name is going to be in lights or whatever. Or they promise you. A lot of times as a publicist, people come to you, it's like, oh, this person promised me they were going to do this, or they promised me that. I'm like, they can't promise you anything.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. This is our media plan. This is how we're going to get there.
And what about asking them for their credentials? Like, who have you worked with? Where did you study? Or, do you have tear sheets to prove what you're talking about, like from magazines or clips or anything like that?
Yeah, and even who are your current clients? Who are you currently working with? And you could see a lot of times, and ask them realistically, if they're promising you to get you on a reality, last season, who did you manage? What was that contract like? You don't have to say figures, but what was that contract like? Were you the one managing the contract, or you just know somebody?
Yeah.
You know, and that's a little bit different, you know? I think that's the biggest red flag. Like somebody that like over promising and just love bombing you and just like suffocating you.
And the promises, I think that's
promises
that's a huge red flag.
That they're empty promises without you having to do anything.
Yeah.
You know? Or asking you to pay for stuff, a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of money that you have to spend, but if I'm coming at you and they're like, you have to do this photo shoot with this person and this and this and this and all this money going out, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot.
But to be fair, people do need professional pictures.
Yes.
And
First
then,
thing.
Right. And then you have a roster of different people, different photographers that you recommend.
Yes.
But you never say, oh, you have to do it with this photographer.
No, and I tell them, I recommend and I'll show them pictures. And, you know, the first thing you need, I always tell people you need photo, bio, you know, achievements, and we need to have a press release. Yeah. So, you know, professional photography, and you need to have a social media presence. A lot of times.
That was my next question, because being on social media every single day is just exhausting. Like, is it okay just to post once a week or twice a week?
No, yeah, it's just, you just need to have your presence. It's not just posting whatever, but you need to have a presence, right? Because right now, unfortunately or fortunately, that's your resume. You know, the first thing people will do now, and a lot of things we manage now, is Wikipedia, your Google, your reputation management. I do a lot of reputation management. Somebody Googles you or looks, who is Adriana Catano? What's coming up?
Yeah.
You know?
No nudes.
No nudes. We took care of them.
No, you didn't.
Now everybody's what? No,
there aren't any out there that I know of.
No, there
I
is
swear,
none.
I never did that. I know maybe they had a camera in the closet or something,
never
but
had that.
I never.
You had a squeaky image. Always.
No, I was clear. I was like, pictures?
Nunca. No. Not you. There must be AI. That's another thing. Now with AI.
Oh, with AI. No, but people know.
It's horrible.
People know with AI. No, back in the day, you know what they used to do? They would say like on Google, you would go in and Google my name or Google like any former Miss Universe's name, and it would say, you know, this person, XXX. And it wasn't even me or the other person, and they would put famous people's names and they would say XXX, and it would be like one of
like
those
a clickbait.
But then like people that didn't actually click into it would wonder, hey,
because you don't want to click, because that's not
because it's a virus.
Yeah, you don't want to look at that content.
Or it's something else. Yeah. It's another type of content, but it wasn't my face. It wasn't me.
Yeah, they just used your name to clickbait people.
Right.
Because you're probably a very highly Googled name.
I was back there.
Yeah,
back
of course.
then, you know, because I did the calendars, but that doesn't happen anymore. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah,
now it's like everything's on social, but you do need a social media presence. People are like, no, I'm famous, and you need a social media presence. Yeah. And there's so many people.
Unless you're an A-list actor, they rarely post because they don't need to. They have millions of followers already because they watch them in movies and all that. And they post every once in a while. But did you hear about the new Gen Z trend that now they're posting less?
Yes, they are. And they have those spam accounts, which is so funny when people tell me they have access to their kids' accounts. I'm like, you know your kids have a spam account, right? Oh. They have a hidden account.
They do?
Yeah.
Moms, your kids have
if you have access to your kids' accounts, yeah, that's cute. But no, they're posting on another account.
Give us some tips for moms to keep their kids safe. That's not a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We've had so much fun. 45 minutes went like this. You have to come back.
Okay, I will.
Thank you. I love you so much.
Thank you.
You guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Unscripted with Adri. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and also follow Aileen Abella at Aileen Abella.
Eileene _ Abella. There we go.
Bye. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.